What's up everyone, welcome back to Coastal Worlds 106. My name is Josh and today we're going to be looking at my top 10 favourite Alton Towers rides / roller coasters. Now this was suggested to me by my girlfriend. Her Instagram and YouTube will be linked below, as well as my Instagram will be linked below too. So I hope you enjoy. So the first ride we're going to be looking at, which is my number 10, is Hex. Now this is like down at the 10th mark because it's just a flat ride. And it's a great flat ride, and I love the optical illusion of it, but when you go in and you sit down in your ride seat, you have to put your bag under your chair. And when I went on it, and we were going around that, I remembered, oh, what about my bag? Because I was getting quite scared. And I looked under there and I really realised that my bag wasn't moving at all. So I realised, oh, it's an optical illusion. But before that, I was pretty terrified. And it was a really good ride. So I think if they made you leave your bag out in another room, I think then it would be a much better experience. But other than that, like the music, the storyline and the theming and everything inside the towers, I think it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it, and I was, it was really good. It was a really great ride experience, to be honest. But probably one of the best flat rides I've been on. One of the best. Now the second roller coaster we're going to be looking at, ride, at my number 9 spot, is Congo River Rapids. Now this is probably one of my most favourite water rides. Like, it's great, like it's got a good length, you get really wet on it, like there's lots of waves that splash into the boat and everything. I think it's just brilliant, and I love the theming around it, like the jungle and all that. I think it's really great, like especially with the waterfall section, and you get like splashed all over. It's just great, and like I think, it'd be a shame if Alton Towers ever got rid of it or anything like that, because they already got rid of one water ride, and it'd be a shame to see this one go too, because this one's, it's just great. And I think, it's great for all ages and families and that, so I think that it's a great ride for like everyone. Now at number 8, we're going to be looking at Oblivion. And I know what you're thinking, why is it so low? Oh, well, Oblivion's a great ride and all that. Well, yeah, it is a great ride. It's so low because it terrified me, and I've only been on it once. And only being on it once isn't like the reasoning, it's just because I've been on it once, I got so terrified. If I go on it again, I'm probably going to enjoy it, but seeing as I've only been on it once and it absolutely terrified me, it's going to stay where it is for now. But I'm sure if I get on it again, then it'll be much higher up on my list. But I love the music. It was great, like the government experiments and all that. It's just it really puts you in like a whole new world when you start going through the queue line and everything. It's absolutely brilliant. Even just looking at it scared me, like the big drop and just vertical into that giant hole. It's just it terrified me, but it looked so amazing. Like, first time I laid eyes on it, I was like, what is this? This is insane. Like, but even though I was quite terrified, it was an amazing ride experience, especially if you like love adrenaline. Like, it was crazy. But I love the whole theming around it, the TVs that are playing like this ride is it's perfectly safe and all that. Brilliant. And I love the Lord of Light and Lord of Darkness, like having an argument about whether the ride is safe and whether you should get on it or not, and that just just scares you, doesn't it? Because you're like, should I get on it or not? Who do I trust? And I think it's a brilliant ride. Now at number 7, surprisingly, is Runaway Mine Train. Now I know what you're thinking, well, that's a kiddie ride, it's for babies, 9-year-olds and that, whatever. But the only reason it's so high up in my list is because it was my first Alton Towers ride when I went there for the first time in 2014 in February for my mate's birthday. And I was too scared to go on many things because I wasn't as big as I was. I loved rides and I loved going to theme parks, but I wasn't too great with roller coasters. I don't know. But now, like, when I went on it, after I'd been on it, I got a big adrenaline rush and wanted to go on everything else. And I went on 2 other rides that day. I went on Air and I went on Sonic Spinball because it was quite busy that day, to be honest. And so yeah, but I love, when I first saw the Runaway Mine Train, I thought, okay, this could get me back up to loving rides again, because I hadn't been to a theme park in ages, for a few years at least. When I walked around and everything, the entrance and everything, I just loved the area theming and everything. It was really nice, like with the different rusty like tools and everything around the queue lines and all that. And the fact that you got to go around twice, I really like that, and I loved it all. And it was just a great ride, to be honest. Then number 6, we're looking at Wicker Man. Now I know that the Wicker Man's the newest, well, one of the newest, and that it should be the best. But for me, I love the theming, I love the music, both brilliant, especially listening to it on my Alton Towers CD. It's great, and I love it, and I love that going around the queue line and everything. And the pre-show, it was really great. The only thing is, the queue is quite long. Now, I get why queue lines can be quite long for rides, because they're popular, or more. You don't want people waiting outside the ride and everything, getting people's way. So I understand that. It was a drag walking around and everything. But and my only other peeve with the ride is that when I was going around some of the corners, my head was shaking a lot and it kind of hurt my neck a bit. Now that probably is because I went on it in September, so it was more or less near coming to the end of the season. So obviously it's had nearly a whole season of running and everything. So I can't fault it for that. I think if I went in the beginning of the season, obviously it would be a bit smoother. But other than that, I really loved it. It was really fast, intense. It was a great ride. I loved it. Now, number 5, we're looking at Sonic Spinball / Spinball Wizard, and I think this is a great starter ride. And if you're wondering what that means, it means, like, I use this term a bit, like, when I first go to Alton Towers, I always go to the right to pass CBB's land. So you go through Tower Street, pass CBB's land, and you go to Sonic Spinball Wizard, and X Sector. And I think going around that way and then going round and doing a loop back up through Dark Forest and Forbidden Valley and all that, I think it's a great loop round. And I just think starting with Spinball Wizard is a really great start ride, because it gets your adrenaline going, gets the excitement and everything going. And I think if you went the other way, I think it would be, you get good rides and good rides and good rides, and then you get to Spinball Wizard and you're like, oh, it's just a small ride. So I think you start with the smaller one and you just gradually get better. But I think, other than that, like, yeah, it's not too big and it's not like too thrilling, but spinning around while going around the track, I think it's great, and I love the theming of it and the music. Oh, I love it so much. Like, it's one of my favourite soundtracks, and like I love it. It's great. I think it's a good ride too. Now, number 4, we have 13. Oh, I love 13. Like, one point my teacher used it as a nickname for me, and like that's how much I just talked about it, because it was awesome. Like, from the drop to the first downhill drop to the vertical drop, to just everything, like walking through the queue line with the Tesla core and the writing on the walls. Oh, it just creeps me out. Now, obviously, I know what people are thinking. Well, yeah, but they overhyped it, and it's not actually as good as people think, because it's not a thrill ride, and it's more seen as a family coaster. But I think if I was there, like helping, like construct it and everything, I would have added a few more trees around the ride, around the track, so it kind of like darkens the entire area a bit more. So it's a bit more shady and shadowy, so it's a bit more creepier and a bit more forest feeling. As well as maybe adding a couple of smoke machines here and there to get a bit of a like fog type feel to it. I think that would have made it a lot better. But overall, like the theming and the scenery around it and everything, I think it was brilliant. Like the building, the station that you go through, it's just like creeped me out a bit. But then the ride is just, I think it's awesome. I don't think it's underrated. I think it's quite underrated. Like, I think because of the Alton Towers overhyping it, as people say, that they have a bad opinion about it, but I think if you go in with an open mind, it is actually a pretty amazing ride. So that's why it's number 4. Now at number 3, we've got the world's most intense ride experience at Nemesis, and it's at number 3 because, as I said, it is one of the most intense ride experiences I've ever been on. Like, when I went on it for the first time back in 2017, I got off with my mate and my hands were shaking, like it was crazy. Like, I'd never had a ride do that to me before. Like, my hands were crazy. Like, it was absolutely amazing. Like, the whole ride was so smooth and just so fast and crazy. Like, I just loved it. And the giant monster, the giant alien crab-like beast in the middle, and the broken off track that runs around it, making it seem like it's grown around it a bit. And the backstory promotional videos and the music and the whole like big ditch that it sits in. It was amazing. I loved it. I hope they bring back the coloured, the red coloured lake back, because I think that was just epic. I've seen videos of it. It was never coloured when I was there. It was never had any red dye when I was there. But I think if they brought it back, it would, you know, keep it going. And I hope to see that ride around for many more years to come. Now, my number 2 is Air/Galactica. Now, I haven't been on it when it's been rebooted as Galactica. I know, I've been in 2017 and I've been in 2019, and I've not been on it. Well, in 2017, didn't have the time because I went on it as a school trip, and it was just packed, so I never really had the time. We waited in the queue for Nemesis, and that was like 3-hour queue line. It was insane because the park was near full capacity, and then I went off with my mate to the Smiler, and I was just stuck riding that for the rest of the day because I kept going in single rider queue, because I was just, as soon as I went on once, I had to go on it more times. But then I didn't have the time to go on anything else. And then in 2019, after going on Nemesis, it was either before or it was after going on Nemesis, I wanted to go into Galactica, and we did go to it, and you know, we went to the entrance, but then it was shut, and I was devastated because it was running when we were waiting for Nemesis, but then it had broken down again because obviously it's a very technical ride. I was devastated. So I've been on it once when it was there, and when I went on it, it was brilliant. Like, with the music in the station, and the big air sign that used to be there, and the sandstone like pillars everywhere. I just loved it. It was really great. And the reason it's so high up is because in my top number 2 spot is because it was my first thrill ride, and that's important to me because I've been on a few now. And I think it was just amazing, like the flying through the air type feeling. It was great, and I think John Wardley did an amazing job with this ride. Now, my number 1, I think it's pretty obvious what this is if you've seen my Instagram or my other videos on my second Instagram account, which will also be linked below. That is the Smiler. The reason it's on my number 1 is because I remember going in I think it was 2016 or 2015. No, it was 2016, yeah. And I went, and it was not the greatest time I've ever been. I was stuck walking around a lot. I only went on like 2 rides, I think, and it wasn't too great for going. But it was the first time I'd seen the Smiler, what can I say? I was just open jaw, gobsmacked at the sight of it. Like, I'd never seen anything like it. Because you've got to understand, I had gone from Legoland Windsor to Alton Towers, so I had gone from the rides like the Dragon and the Jungle Coaster and rides like that, to looking at a world record breaking inversion coaster, and it just blew my mind. Like, I didn't even understand what was going on when I looked at it. Like, it was just these carts going around in different places, and it just, I don't look at it now like I did back then. Like, I was so confused when I first saw it, but now I see it as just this amazing ride. And it's just brilliant. Like, when I didn't go on it in 2016 because I was too terrified because I'd never seen anything like it. But what I did do is when I got back home, is I like looked at loads of videos, music. I basically just got obsessed with it. I didn't go on it, but you can ask people from when I went back when I was in high school. They can tell you and even now I'm just obsessed with that ride. Like, even when I didn't go on it, I was just it was crazy. Like, with the backstory Smile Always videos, and the Welcome to the Sanctuary and all that, and the music, and the creepy like correctional process, the marmalizer and the correctional block and everything. And it was just I was just in awe of it. It was amazing. I'd never seen so much like theming for one ride, and it was just brilliant. I just loved it. It was one of the best rides I've ever been on. And that's why I've been on it so many times, and that's why it's my number one. Because no matter what people say, it's always going to be the world's most inversions on a roller coaster, and it's always going to be one of the best rides in the world. And it always will be, in my opinion. It will go down in the history books as being one amazing roller coaster. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and comment below what you liked about it. If you've got any tips for me, what I could do better next time, let me know, because I'm gonna do a couple more videos like this. I know I've done a lot of Lego videos recently, but just got one more, and then I've got a load of I've got a couple more projects for Lego which are going to be in the future, in a few months' time at least. And then I've got a special video the week after, which is going to bring a whole new varied and diverse audience to my channel, hopefully, because we're going to be introducing a lot more to the channel, and I hope that people enjoy it. I hope people like it. So really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, leave a like. All links for Instagram and YouTube are going to be down below. And yeah, so I'll see you next time. Bye.